Sit like a guru and trot drunk to look as fat as I am.
Got that KFC belly on me, just I'll cover it up with bacon shit, man.
Hi, my name's Will and welcome to the Drum Room Sessions for this week. We have a guy in here called Aaron Simpson today. How are you?
Good, man. Hey guys, I'm Aaron. I'm a guitarist, singer, songwriter and composer from here in Auckland, New Zealand. I just released my debut solo guitar EP, Point of View, under the name Atutahi. Thanks for having me, man.
That's cool. You answered all my questions. So I'll see you next week. No,
Catch you later, guys. I'm good.
So you released it on the 10th of December, which is only about 4 days ago.
Yeah, man. So this week I got fully into it, just releasing, spreading it around, trying to get everybody to hear it, you know. It's been a massive few months of just recording and trying to get everything sorted out, get my social media up. It ain't easy to do, but I'm happy it's out.
When did you start actually tracking for the album? When did it all sort of kick off?
I would have started probably halfway through this year. So I attend Mains, which is Music and Audio Institute in New Zealand. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the year, they ask you to do a project, right? Yeah. And I said, well, there's one thing I've never done that I've always wanted to do, and that's put together a solo guitar EP of just hard out, heavy metal prog, just super nerdy guitar music. And I did it, man. I was really happy with it.
Cool. What kind of gear did you use to record the album, like guitars and equipment?
The majority of the guitar tracks on there are a combination of this guy, my Ibanez 8-string, and another Ibanez 7-string, which is like, the only reason I use that thing is because it doesn't have this one doesn't have a Floyd Rose on it, okay, which is kind of a pain. I wish it did.
So did you record it all yourself?
Literally every instrument on there is recorded by me. The guitars, the bass, the synths, the keyboards. There is some very low-key vocal tracking in there, which is kind of hidden under layers of distorted guitars. The drums I ran through like a drum sample program with an electric drum kit.
Okay.
And some of them are played, some of them are replaced. You can tell if they're replaced because they're in time.
Pretty much everything's replaced these days, even if you do record it on a...
Yeah, man. So many bands these days are using samples to like beef up the sound kind of thing, you know, like especially on your snare and whatnot.
Yeah, it's like a prerequisite, really.
Yeah. So many of us are just like perfectionists when it comes to putting it together. You're listening back to it and you're like, is that big enough? Like, is that loud enough?
It also minimizes on the bleed problems when you're recording, like, because, you know, if you hit your snare, you can hear your hi-hat and you can hear this and that and this microphone, but if you do sample replacement, then of course all that disappears.
Exactly. Initially I was going to go with just pure programming, right? So I was just going to punch it in, sort it out later, trying to get like the velocities right and stuff. But listening back to it, it was just like... I don't know, man, you could tell. So I had to hook up the kit and just be like, I'll play it, see if I can get it kind of feeling more and more human, you know?
It's nice that my dogs are outside barking. Because,
that's all good.
Because that's not annoying at all. Okay, so you released the album, the EP I should say, on the 10th of this month. So what have you been up to since dropping it?
So right now I'm working on 3 other projects, which is a singer-songwriter album thing, which will be coming out beginning of next year. Working on a carryover from an earlier band I was in called Hollow Puppet. And I'm also working on the next album for this thing, which, when I was finished doing this EP, you know, you get that thing where you're kind of like looking at what you've already done, looking at what needs to be cut. And a lot of stuff got cut out of this EP that I was actually really into, but it just didn't
really fit.
Yeah, the sound on this album is pretty, I don't know, it's pretty lighthearted. And there was some stuff coming out, the old song here and there, that was just way darker, way down that kind of like Meshuggah, Animals as Leaders route, which I kind of just pulled out and said, okay, like that can go on the next release, and maybe I can make them a little bit more cohesive with everything else. But if you listen through the EP, you can totally tell that's happening. Like, it just gets heavier and heavier, and you're like, oh, is this actually going to go anywhere? It's like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't go anywhere.
Where's the EP available at? Where can people listen to it, download it, or stream it, etc.?
Right now, the EP is pretty much available anywhere you'd want to find it. It's on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Bandcamp, which is my personal favorite.
I like Bandcamp.
Yeah, I love Bandcamp, man. Like, it's just so much more user friendly and like way more accessible. The album came out a few days ago, and just by people looking at it and saying, "Oh, yeah, I'll pay like a few dollars for it or something," I've probably already made more money than I'll ever make from Spotify or like iTunes or anything. Like,
if you upload to Spotify, I mean, it's really convenient for the end user, for the sort of Spotify customer, but you're basically just giving them your music.
Yeah, you're just giving it away.
You're going to get absolutely nothing.
It's up there because I don't mind giving it away. It's hard work and I want people to hear it. I didn't spend the last few months just wasting my time. So I want people to listen to it and just be like, what's this guy up to? What's he got coming up? Like, this is all good.
I remember Lars Ulrich getting in a lot of trouble back, was it in the 90s, late 90s, when the whole Napster thing happened. I mean, not for him, obviously, because he's a wealthy man, but it's all sort of trickled down into this sort of existence where musicians do stuff, spend a lot of money on gear, spend a lot of money on recording, and then just basically just throw their music away into the internet.
Yeah, man, history's proven Lars correct.
Yeah.
Like, I remember back then, we used to make jokes about him. We'd be like, what's his problem? Like, why does this guy hate his fans? Like, why does he hate music? Like, who's going to download it for free anyway? I bet hardly anybody's downloading it. You're Metallica, you make enough money. Now you've got Radiohead and all them out there like, no, we don't make any money. Because Spotify sells us for nothing, and we get nothing. And we've got millions of streams. But where's the money at? Like, who's getting the money?
So how can people find you on the internet? What do they need to type into Facebook to discover you?
So if you're on Facebook, you can just go at Atutahi Music or just search Atutahi. If you're on Instagram, same thing, at Atutahi Music, Bandcamp, Spotify, anything like that. You can probably also type in all caps, ATU, which is just a shortened version of it that people have a way easier time pronouncing. And should be able to find me up there somewhere.
I did ask you the ignorant Pākehā question before. What does it mean?
Atutahi is the Māori name for the Canopus constellation, man, and it's also my middle name, which when I was a young kid, I was pretty embarrassed about because I went to a pretty rural school, Waitack, which is just down here, pretty much the only brown kid in the school, man.
Didn't you grow up just at the end of this very street?
Yeah, dude. It was pretty removed, but for whatever reason, that's where I was. And, man, you get teased, kids wouldn't be able to pronounce your name, and just be like, what is this name? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So, very recently, when I was, putting my profiles together and whatnot, I was looking at it, and I said, yeah, man, I'm going to use it, dude. No one will be able to pronounce it, it'll be super annoying, I won't be able to spell it, but boom, I'll put it on. But, obviously, I've kind of caved a little bit, because it's been shortened down for the EP, so everyone can recognise it.
Atutahi is not that difficult to pronounce. I mean, it doesn't have any WHs or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
White people seem to have troubles with WH a lot.
Oh, man.
The old whakatane or wakatane thing.
Rather, I've been trying to learn to speak German recently. My partner's from Germany. I see now why people just get lazy. And then I don't feel like trying to pronounce this. Like, it's hard, man. It is not easy.
My wife's French Cambodian. So her mother sort of speaks sort of a hybrid, like French and a Cambodian accent.
Yeah, man.
And they're always like, when are you going to learn French? When are you going to learn Cambodian so we can communicate? I'm like, Cambodian has more sounds in it than English.
Yeah.
My wife will try to explain how to pronounce something, and I can't even hear the sounds and the silent G's and the things she's trying to point out.
It is not easy, man. I had a good mate from France, and recently he said to me, I was talking about people who speak English in New Zealand and people who speak French, who normally speak English, right? And I said, dude, it sounds so bad. Like, because, when you've been to France and you've heard people speak French who naturally speak it, it sounds totally different.
Yeah.
I was like, it sounds so bad. And he was like, yeah, but don't forget, most people don't speak French properly either. Like, most French people don't speak French properly. I was like, no, it's cool, man.
All right, well, I look forward to hearing what you're going to bring out later on. Are you going to release something next year, I would presume? Yeah,
so I'll have a release coming kind of end of January next year.
Okay.
And the next Atu album will be out probably early to mid next year.
Will it be another sort of a 5-track deal?
Depends. Right now it's kind of looking like it might be sort of your 8-track album kind of thing. But who knows, I might get perfectionist about it and cut some of that out.
Yeah, it's too dark.
Yeah, it's like, this time it'll be, it's too poppy, like I need to cut something out. Like, but I try not to be too egregious with it, you know.
Best luck with everything in the future, and thanks for coming to see me today.
Awesome, thanks man.
Cool, man.
Appreciate it.
I'll see you next week. Cheers.